Imagine this: Ukraine waited patiently, watching Russian convoys move across the strategic Crimea Bridge. And then, in a sudden, shocking strike, everything was destroyed. The world watched in disbelief. Today, we're breaking down exactly how it happened, why it matters, and what Russia might do next. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into one of the most dramatic events in the ongoing conflict between Ukraine and Russia. The Crimea Bridge has always been a symbol of Russian control over the peninsula, connecting mainland Russia to Crimea. It is not just a bridge. It is a critical military and logistical route for Russian forces. Recently, Ukraine executed a daring ambush on Russian convoys crossing this bridge. The operation was carefully planned, with Ukrainian forces monitoring movements for days. They waited for the right moment, knowing the bridge was heavily guarded and any attack would be risky. Yet, Ukraine's strategy was precise. Using intelligence, reconnaissance, and advanced weaponry, Ukrainian forces targeted the convoys at the most vulnerable point. The result was catastrophic for the Russian military, with explosions destroying multiple vehicles and equipment. This operation demonstrates Ukraine's growing capability to strike high-value targets deep inside occupied territory. The event has sent shockwaves through military analysts worldwide, raising questions about Russia's security measures and the vulnerability of their critical infrastructure. It also highlights Ukraine's patience, planning, and strategic precision, which could impact the future course of the war. As the world watches, many are asking what happens next. The Crimea Bridge is more than just concrete and steel. It is a symbol of Russian dominance in the Black Sea region. Built to connect Crimea to Russia after the annexation in 2014, the bridge has always been a key military and economic asset. Russian convoys regularly transport troops, weapons, and supplies across this route. For Ukraine, targeting the bridge is a way to disrupt these critical supply lines. Ukrainian forces carefully observed Russian convoy patterns. They studied timings, security details, and possible escape routes. Patience was key. The ambush wasn't spontaneous. It was a calculated strike aimed at causing maximum disruption. When the convoys finally moved, Ukrainian forces launched a coordinated attack. Explosions rocked the bridge, destroying vehicles and creating chaos. Russian forces were caught off guard, showing that even heavily guarded locations are vulnerable with the right intelligence. The operation is being seen as a statement by Ukraine. It signals that no strategic target is entirely safe. Beyond the immediate damage, this strike sends a psychological message to Russian forces and leadership. Analysts now predict increased security measures on the bridge, but also growing Ukrainian confidence in executing bold operations. This ambush might inspire similar tactics elsewhere in occupied territories. The Crimea Bridge strike marks a turning point in the war's narrative, showing Ukraine's ability to challenge Russian control in previously secure zones. The international reaction to the Crimea Bridge attack has been intense. Global media quickly reported the ambush, highlighting the scale and precision of Ukraine's operation. Analysts emphasize that striking such a heavily fortified bridge requires not just firepower, but careful planning and intelligence gathering. Satellite images, drones, and reconnaissance teams likely played a crucial role in monitoring Russian convoy movements. The ambush demonstrates that Ukraine is capable of high-impact strikes with minimal warning. For Russia, this is a major blow to both military logistics and morale. The destruction of convoys disrupts the flow of troops, supplies, and essential equipment across Crimea. It also raises concerns about the security of other strategic infrastructure in Russian-occupied areas. Politically, the strike sends a message to the international community. Ukraine is not just defending territory. It is proactively challenging Russian dominance. This may affect negotiations, military strategies, and global perception of the war. The timing of the attack is also significant. It shows Ukraine's ability to plan operations with precision, striking at moments that maximize impact. As the dust settles on the bridge, analysts will closely monitor Russian responses. Increased security, counterattacks, or shifts in strategy are all possible. For now, the world watches as Ukraine demonstrates that even the most heavily guarded positions are not beyond reach. This ambush will likely be studied by military experts for years to come. The strategic importance of the Crimea Bridge cannot be overstated. It is the only direct land route connecting Russia to the peninsula. Supplies, reinforcements, and civilian transport all rely on this bridge. By striking it, Ukraine not only damages physical infrastructure, but also disrupts Russian operational plans. The ambush is a clear example of asymmetric warfare, where a smaller force uses intelligence, planning, and precision to target critical vulnerabilities of a larger opponent. Ukrainian forces likely used a combination of drones, guided munitions, and electronic intelligence to execute the strike. Reports suggest that several Russian military vehicles and logistics trucks were destroyed. The attack created chaos, forcing Russian forces to reconsider their security protocols. For civilians in Crimea, the ambush raises concerns about the safety and stability of the region. However, the operation's success boosts Ukrainian morale and showcases their resilience and tactical innovation. Military experts suggest that Ukraine's ability to strike deep into occupied territories will be a key factor in shaping the ongoing conflict. Russia may respond by increasing defenses, but this could slow down their movements and create logistical bottlenecks. The psychological impact of the ambush is equally important. Russian forces may become more cautious, and the perception of invulnerability around strategic locations, like the Crimea Bridge, is shattered. Ukraine's actions demonstrate a clear understanding of strategic priorities and timing, highlighting their growing operational sophistication. The bridge strike has significant implications for the Black Sea region. The Crimea Bridge is crucial for Russian naval operations, linking mainland Russia with its Black Sea fleet in Crimea. Any disruption to this route can affect troop movements, supply chains, and operational readiness. Ukraine's strike shows that even key logistical corridors are vulnerable to well-planned attacks. Analysts argue that this could force Russia to rethink its strategy in the region. The attack also demonstrates the importance of real-time intelligence in modern warfare. Drones, satellite imagery, and reconnaissance units provide critical information that allows for precision strikes. Ukraine's growing capability in this domain is evident. Beyond the immediate military impact, the ambush sends a political message. It highlights the ongoing contest for control in the region and Ukraine's determination to challenge Russian occupation. The timing of the operation may also influence diplomatic discussions, signaling to allies that Ukraine is capable of high-impact operations. Russian military planners must now account for these vulnerabilities, possibly slowing movements or investing heavily in protective measures. For Ukraine, the strike is a morale booster, showing that careful planning, intelligence gathering, and patience can yield dramatic results. As analysts study the attack, it will serve as a case study in effective tactical planning and the use of limited resources to achieve maximum strategic effect. Ukraine's ambush on the Crimea Bridge also demonstrates the role of technology in modern warfare. Drones, surveillance systems, and precise weaponry allowed Ukrainian forces to monitor Russian convoys without being detected. This kind of intelligence gathering is critical for targeting heavily defended areas. The strike required careful coordination, with forces ready to act at the exact moment the convoys reached their vulnerable positions. Russian forces, despite being heavily armed and fortified, were unable to prevent the attack. The damage to vehicles, supplies, and infrastructure disrupted not only military logistics, but also the confidence of Russian troops operating in Crimea. Analysts note that Ukraine's ability to strike deep inside Russian occupied territory highlights a growing proficiency in both strategy and execution. The operation also emphasizes the psychological element of warfare. Striking a heavily guarded location creates uncertainty, forcing the enemy to reconsider their security measures and troop movements. The ambush could also impact morale on both sides, boosting Ukrainian confidence while sowing doubt among Russian soldiers. Globally, military experts are watching the aftermath closely, examining the implications for supply chains, bridge security, and battlefield tactics. The strike shows that intelligence, patience, and precision can level the playing field, even against a larger opponent. Ukraine's success is a testament to strategic planning, adaptability, and the effective use of modern technology in achieving tactical goals. The timing of the Crimea Bridge attack was crucial. Ukrainian forces waited for days, studying Russian convoy schedules to ensure maximum impact. Choosing the right moment allowed the strike to target multiple vehicles at once, causing significant destruction. This careful planning reduced risks to Ukrainian forces, while increasing the effectiveness of the attack. Explosions on the bridge disrupted the flow of supplies, reinforcements, and essential equipment across Crimea. For Russian forces, the strike is a logistical setback, forcing delays and creating operational bottlenecks. Strategically, the ambush demonstrates Ukraine's ability to operate inside enemy territory with precision. Military analysts highlight that the attack required coordination between intelligence teams, reconnaissance units, and strike forces. It also emphasizes the importance of patience in executing high-value operations. The success of this mission may encourage Ukraine to carry out similar operations on other strategic targets. International observers note that Ukraine's capability to strike critical infrastructure changes the dynamics of the conflict. It also sends a psychological message, showing that no location is completely secure. For Russian planners, this is a clear warning to reinforce defenses, adjust schedules, and reevaluate security protocols. The ambush reinforces the idea that modern warfare is as much about intelligence and planning as it is about brute force. Ukraine's strike on the Crimea Bridge will be remembered as a pivotal moment in the ongoing conflict. Combining strategy, technology, and timing in a single, effective operation, the aftermath of the attack on Crimea Bridge is already visible. Russian military convoys faced immediate delays, forcing commanders to reroute or postpone operations. The destruction of supplies, vehicles, and critical infrastructure has disrupted routine military activities. Ukrainian officials celebrated the success as a demonstration of strategic capability, while Russian sources tried to downplay the impact. Analysts suggest that the strike will influence both military strategy and morale. It highlights vulnerabilities in previously secure areas and forces Russian forces to reassess their defensive measures. Additionally, the psychological impact of such a high-profile strike cannot be ignored. Soldiers operating in Crimea may feel less confident, knowing that even major supply routes are vulnerable. For Ukraine, the operation strengthens credibility, both domestically and internationally, showing that careful planning, patience, and precision can yield significant results. Military experts will likely study this ambush as an example of asymmetric warfare, demonstrating how a smaller, strategically minded force can challenge a larger opponent. The attack may also influence future engagements, with both sides adapting tactics and security measures accordingly. Overall, the Crimea Bridge strike is more than a single event. It represents a shift in the conflict, emphasizing intelligence, patience, and strategic precision as key factors in modern warfare. Ukraine's success demonstrates that no target, regardless of defenses, is completely untouchable. The geopolitical implications of the Crimea Bridge ambush are significant. The bridge is not only a military route, but also a symbol of Russian control over Crimea. By striking it, Ukraine challenges not just Russian logistics, but also the perception of invincibility surrounding key infrastructure. Internationally, the attack has drawn attention from governments, analysts, and media outlets. Many see it as evidence of Ukraine's growing operational sophistication and strategic reach. The ambush may influence future support from allies, as it demonstrates Ukraine's capability to conduct high-impact operations effectively. For Russia, the attack forces reassessment of security protocols across occupied territories, not just at the bridge. It also highlights vulnerabilities in critical transport and supply chains, which could be exploited in future operations. Analysts predict increased fortification and monitoring of strategic sites, but such measures may slow down routine operations. Politically, the strike sends a clear message: Ukraine is capable of challenging Russian control in Crimea and beyond. The psychological effect on Russian leadership, military personnel, and even civilians is noteworthy, raising concerns about safety, logistics, and morale. For Ukraine, this success reinforces domestic support and international recognition, showing that strategic planning, patience, and precision can overcome significant obstacles. The Crimea Bridge ambush is likely to shape the narrative of the conflict, emphasizing intelligence, driven operations, and strategic ingenuity over sheer force. Looking ahead, the strike on Crimea Bridge may shape the next phase of the war. Ukrainian forces have proven that careful planning and intelligence can allow them to strike high-value targets deep in enemy territory. The destruction caused by the ambush disrupts logistics, delays operations, and creates uncertainty among Russian forces. Analysts predict that Russia will increase security measures and possibly shift troop movements, but these adjustments may slow overall operations. The psychological impact on Russian soldiers and commanders is also significant, as the ambush demonstrates vulnerability even in heavily fortified areas. For Ukraine, the operation boosts morale and strengthens credibility both domestically and internationally. It sends a message that strategic patience, intelligence, and precision are key advantages, even against a larger adversary. Globally, military experts will continue to analyze the strike, examining lessons in planning, timing, and execution. For civilians watching the conflict, the event reinforces Ukraine's determination and capability. As the war continues, operations like this may influence future tactics, negotiations, and international support. In conclusion, the ambush on Crimea Bridge marks a pivotal moment in the ongoing conflict, combining strategy, intelligence, and execution to achieve a high-impact result. Ukraine's success serves as a clear signal that no strategic target is entirely beyond reach. If you found this breakdown insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates on the Ukraine-Russia conflict. Hit the bell icon so you never miss our latest videos. Share your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think Russia's next move will be?